There we go. Thank you for announcing it publicly. And who sold Mike Tyson his big cat? I think we all know. It was me, obviously. I sold him his big cat. Uh, and the reason I did that is because I can speak to jaguars. I know their language. Yeah. You know, there really should be like, I was talking about this a few days ago, but there really should be like a D&D thing where it's like you do like fantasy sports, but like you combine it with actual D&D to make it like a real fantasy thing. Well, that works. Yeah, you can just do that. So, I mean, I guess I'm pitching. Did you guys ever play the game Pyre? It's by Supergiant. It's one of the mini games Supergiant made that is in Hades, and thus we don't talk about, I guess, anymore. But that was a really fun game, and you were essentially playing fantasy basketball. Yeah, yeah, all that stuff. That's a good idea too, Tio. But yeah, I guess just taking a picture is easier. Do you know how to make games, Tio? Well, cause that you gave lobotomy there real advice. So I'm like, do you have experience with that? Because lobotomy is trying to make a game. Oh, I know this. Yes, it does. What doesn't no doesn't Blender have a 3D 2D? Didn't they create a 2D version? I know they were talking about it. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Look at you. Look at you. Tio's a practically gosh darn expert in it. No, but feel free to go on. I'm curious. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I know what a game jam is. I know of game jams. I thought you may be talking about a specific one. I'm not completely ill-informed. Yeah. I mean, I know how to program a text adventure, but anybody can do a text adventure. They're very simple to do, text adventure games. I have thought about it before. Have you ever have you ever right people who are interested in the writer side of all this? Have you ever tried doing a text adventure? Ugh, free time. You know, it's so wild to me about it because it feels like that could be like school project. Somehow you could get away with justifying that with school, like a text adventure. Uh, yeah, a game jam feels like you could, because how educational is like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Why don't, yeah, that feels like super educational. That feels like, oh, South. Yes, S for Sean. No! I know nobody cares about them anymore, but they're easy to make. I've Oh no! They're still as popular. People are still waiting for Zork 4 to come out any day now, Tio. Yeah. Oh, but Tio, nobody cares about what I do on the stream. Nobody cares. Do you think I have the ability to control the stream? Do you know how many times I've come into these streams with like very set firm plans for things I wanted to do, and then none of that happened? It would be fun. It would be especially fun if I could apply like I was thinking like um I think it'd be fun if we could do like like Twitch plays Pokemon thing where I could let like Twitch vote on which choice to like I could let the chat vote on which choice to make every time. Yeah. Well, that would be fun for you. It bums me out that like young people like don't have free time to do stuff like that. No, I totally get that. I get that lobotomy that you just won't have free time to do stuff like that, and I sympathize. But it's like, I mean, a game jam. How educational? That's like it's pretty educational. That's creative. That teaches you a lot. That'd be good, but it's not. I think that sucks that you don't have time to do that. That's a bummer that you don't get to do stuff like that. If I knew how to program at all, I would. I'd set up a game jam here. Yeah. What are you talking about? The current system is working fine. Nothing has gone wrong. We are not in hellscape. We are not in hellscape whatsoever. Everything that could have gone right has gone right. Yeah, but I know it's one of these funny things where it's like, arguably, you learning a skill that could bring in capital to you would be an example of good capitalism. But we're not even like really doing capitalism right. We're just, I don't know. Sorry, this is dangerously close to me going on a political rant. So I'm not going to. Uh, Fuck Donald J. Trump. I guess I don't know if it. I don't know if I've said that out loud before. I certainly have implied it, but I don't know if I've said it in those words. Don't don't like the current president. Not a fan. Not a fan of him. I don't have anything beyond that. Um, no, no, I want to say something. I want to say something. Uh, um, the people of Greenland do not deserve our shit. Uh, I met, um, and I hope people sincerely fuck off with this whole bullshit colonialism thing, neo-colonialism thing we're doing. Uh, yeah, there we go. That's my political opinion of the day. Greenland's a cool country, and they deserve, and they don't deserve any of our garbage. Oh, but you can tell, because there's a chance in the next couple of years, Greenland might become quite rich, because they theorize that there's a lot of like resources in Greenland, and you can tell that there's a chance Greenland could become quite rich. And the fact that Greenland is, if you're unaware, and I do have a Greenlander who follows me, but so correct me if I'm wrong. Greenland is essentially a socialist country, or is pretty near communist. In fact, it could potentially become quite rich. Ooh, that's just making that. That's just setting off certain people. Ooh boy. I don't know the full like political makeup of Greenland, but I do know I once researched. I once looked into trying to buy a house in Greenland. I once tried to buy a house in Greenland, and not tried to buy a house. I researched if I could buy a house in Greenland, and I found out about that, where it's like, yeah, you don't. There's not. It doesn't really work like that. I don't know if I was seriously going to buy it, but I was on a little bit of a like, I was just looking into seeing the rules for for which countries you could buy a house in. I want to visit, just because that it's a unique country that I'm curious to see. But yeah, anyways, not to get on a political rant. I don't want to. It's just that was that's been on my mind for the past few days. So anybody watching anything new? Reading anything new? Hey, I was just about to recommend that to you. There are a ton of books on archive.org if you want to read something. Some stuff like that I feel like, oh, they're going to get in trouble for hope. Tell me about it. Some stuff out there, I feel like, ooh, they are going to get in a lot of trouble for having this. Like, ooh, boy, at some point, we'll see. Like, I found the entire Hulk Hogan cartoon available for free on there. I thought that would be funnier. I watched a few episodes of it. I thought it would be something funny to riff on, and it wasn't really, unfortunately. Yeah, true. Well, that is very noble of you, Lobotomy. How about read it now and give money later? Yeah. Oh, I'm totally so. Hey, I'm pretty much completely self-taught, Tio. So I respect that, Lobotomy. I think that's you are doing the right thing. So can't get it to look right. Yeah. Well, link it. Link it. I know Norman Rockwell put out a series of cartooning books sometime in the past that I've been meaning to look at. There we go. Very neat. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Yeah. Um, what was I saying? So, uh, curious about. Oh, trying to get a conversation going. Half of this stuff is like just me trying to think of conversations. Um, has anybody seen any movies lately? That sucks. So, what's everybody's opinion of John Cena turning heel? I think it's cool. I'm kind of surprised it isn't the main event of Mania, and it's going to be Jey Uso and Gunner. I was kind of surprised that it's not. Feels like Cody versus Cena should be the main event, but we'll see. I don't hate Jey Uso. I'm actually quite surprised at the somewhat negative reaction of his main event push, because it was working up till it wasn't. I don't know. Okay. I know. I'm devastated. I am devastated. Cena turned. He gave into the dark side, man. You can't just switch sides like that. You just can't switch sides. But it's a. I know. We can see him now, and we understand him. No, but it's like a great. It's a great storyline. It's a great idea. Cena had been the champ. He's close to retirement, and he's feeling bitter about being left behind by the young guys. It's a great way to go out. Because he's bitter because he just can't keep up with it anymore. We can see him now clearly. I'm bored that they gave Charlotte Flair the championship again. What's the point of that? Also disappointed that Rhea Ripley didn't get to be in the men's Royal Rumble. I thought that WWE is actually is in a pretty good spot right now, but I thought that was kind of a boring. I kind of thought the Royal Rumble was honestly really boring. They didn't make any. I mean, I like Joe Hendry, but Royal Rumble is usually a place for like fun people, like some interesting people to be in, and it's like, oh, really? That's it? I mean, it's now becoming kind of expected that the TNA champ um, will make appearances at the Royal Rumble. Okay, those are my those are my wrestling opinions as of right now. Um, how's the concrete going? Lobotomy. Oh no! Oh no! You gave up! You can't give up! Yeah, that makes sense. Why don't you just take a picture? Why don't you just take a picture of concrete from the internet? Or do Tio's idea. Don't do the lazy idea I just came up with. Do Tio's idea. Lobotomy, have you ever played Disco Elysium? I'm not sure if it was you who mentioned that you were playing it. I don't remember. I think you mentioned. And if you keep playing it, how's it going? But if you're not, yeah, you might like. Yes. Okay. Good. It was you. I thought it was you. I was pretty sure it was you. Yeah. Tio, have you ever played Disco Elysium? It's the. Oh. Well, can't your friend just give you their PC? Just like for a couple of days or for life. Listen, if your friend is not willing to give you their personal computer, are they really? But it's such a wild game, isn't it? I love it so much. Oh, okay. Okay. Here's an idea. You mail yourself in a giant box. Have you ever thought about that, huh? Yeah. The office doesn't like it because they're like, you could get yourself killed. But it's cheaper airfare. Okay, and then you mail yourself, and then you get to play Disco Elysium. I think I have thought of everything. I think I've thought of everything that one could think of. There's probably no flaws in my plan whatsoever. I saw this story online, and this is a real picture you can look up, although I suggest you don't. Because it's pretty horrific. Uh, this guy was just taking pictures of airplanes, and he caught somebody falling out of an airplane. And it was like this 14-year-old kid who had snuck on the wheels of an airplane because he wanted to fly around the world, and so that doesn't work if you're curious. And the kid fell out of the airplane. And people do. Apparently, it it happens a couple of times throughout the year that people will just try and sneak through the sneak through, like, because what they'll do is they'll like jump on, they'll sneak through the wheels of an airplane, and that's really 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 really, it's a really bad idea because that area in the wings is like, it's like uber like cold. So you kind of freeze to death. But I think I could make it work. I think I could engineer it to work. Yes, it's killed 100% of people who've tried it, but I think I could make it work. Hey, Tia. Welcome back. Is it because you live in the time between? When I was a kid, I didn't really understand the term a sec, like give me a sec. So I said like give me 4 seconds, or give me, because it's like it didn't really occur to me that it's not literally a second. It's just like give me give me just a short period of time to do something. Okay. Favorite spooky, like favorite classic monster. Are you a wolf man, a vampire, a invisible man, a mummy? What would you say your favorite like classic? If you could be any of the classic movie monsters, what would you be? Sucks. And now I'm very indecisive. Okay, who is your favorite one? Answer me these questions. Werewolves, big fan of the weres and the wolves. Yes. Well, all monsters eventually get caught by a plucky band of roving adventurers. But you'd go with werewolf? You go with werewolf lobotomy? I like sheet ghosts too. I think they're fun. I like werewolves too. Also, werewolf is just an inherently fun word to say. Also, have you ever thought about this? Okay, so werewolf translates into man wolf because were is an old term for man. Um, but Have you thought about this? What's a warehouse then, huh? Is that a man house? Do do does that mean that warehouses are man houses, and that it would a warehouse is just a man that was bitten by a house and transforms into a warehouse on the full moon? Is that what it means? You see, well, uh, not off the top of my head. No. Have you ever seen lobotomy? Have you ever seen a movie called Wolfwalkers? Oh, that might be a movie you might like. It's an animated movie. It's really beautiful. Okay. It take it's Warehouse 13. You're remembering Warehouse 13, a show nobody remembers. The premise of Warehouse 13 was essentially what if X Files but Warehouse? No, I'm sure it's what if X Files but the warehouse at the end of Indiana Jones was probably the real pitch. Yeah, it's not a bad. It wasn't. I actually liked the show. Nobody cared about it, but it was. Yeah, it was essentially about the people who ran the warehouse at the end of Indiana Jones. That's back when like sci-fi had like shows they were producing. Does sci-fi even still make TV shows? I don't think so. I was talking about this yesterday. Uh, I was talking about this yesterday with some people. When I say some people, I of course mean my mom. I was talking about this with my mom yesterday. It's really quite frustrating that Netflix is so dominant in streaming. Because I've come to the opinion that, frankly, it's just kind of mediocre. Like their content is just kind of mediocre in general. It's not bad. It's you certainly could do worse than watching Netflix shows, but yeah, there's a lot better shows out there. They do make every once in a while Netflix will produce like a true like out of the wall masterpiece. So, but what's frustrating is like it's kind of like now it's considered such the default streaming service that anything not on Netflix. Because I wanted to recommend somebody a show yesterday, and I was like, oh, it's on Netflix, so they're just not gonna watch it. And I was like, oh, that's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to be like that because I was certain they'd like it, but it's like it's just not on Netflix, so there's no point really. If you're curious, I was recommending a young person, Daria. Did you Tio Lobotomy? Did you guys ever see Daria? I really liked Daria when I was younger. I was a teenager. I don't know if you know this, but I was pretty. Uh, see, Lobotomy. I think you'd like it too, but I think that show is still really fun, especially for teenagers. And I was like, but it's on Paramount Plus. But I know you'd like it. I know you'd like it. It holds up really well. But can I ask, what's the streaming service you're subscribed to? You're excused. Do you have Netflix? Most people have Netflix. Oh, none. Ooh la la, fancy, fancy. Listen, the most significant things I've done in my life is watch television, have a well tuned taste for television, and it's frustrating that I can't recommend it to people. It's frustrating that I can't recommend good shows I know they'd like to people because it's not on the appropriate streaming service. Oh, fancy. So Dimension 20 and Very Important People. Those are the only shows I know that are on Dropout. Mm-hmm. Hey! How's it going? Good to hear. Yeah. I literally can't say anything else because I don't know. I'm not subscribed to Dimension 20. To the things. I do watch occasional clips of Very Important People. Partly because it feels like a higher budgeted version of Comedy Bang Bang. Oh, but have you ever played D&D Lobotomy? Lobotomy. D&D Lobotomy. That almost rhymes. D&D Lobotomy. That almost rhymes. Okay, tell me, what type of characters do you tend to play? Oh, you're drowning in D&D games. How many are you in right now? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're kind of a forever DM? You have two characters. Okay. That's a fun idea. Not enough skeletons in media. Although, conversely, theoretically, there's always skeletons in media. Wait, that's a hilarious idea, Lobotomy. A bar to bureaucracy. So tell, so like, what does he do exactly? How are you a bar to bureaucracy? That's so fun. That's such a funny idea. Have you ever seen What We Do in the Shadows? The show What We Do in the Shadows? Ah, I was just imagine. Did you maybe take inspiration from Colin Robinson? That's my favorite character in that show. Colin is my favorite. Because that's just such a genius idea. No, but that's such a fun idea. I love your idea. That's such a funny idea, Lobotomy. The a guy who's like grand superpower is he's really good at bureaucracy and can bore people to death. That's the modern world. What are you talking about? Every long-term player of D&D is really interesting and fascinating, and they aren't boring. Like guys who've been playing it for like 30 years aren't boring and annoying to play with. Oh, yes, yeah, obviously. No, we have to actually follow. I've been trying to so I know I talk about my book too much, but whatever, it's my channel. So I'm going to. But for my book, I've been trying to what I want to do, I want to have a companion thing to my book, which is I want to do a live. I want to do a live role play. I want a lot. Dimension 20, but on a much cheaper budget. uh, and do a D&D game set in the world of my book, and it would be like about fantasy wrestlers doing something. I really want to do that at some point, but you know. Yes, I know. I am trying to, but you guys have heard about it before, so I do have a tendency to bring it up when like new people are here, just so I can like hook them on the idea. Oh damn it! No, no. Oh, people are gonna think I ripped it off. I've been working on this idea for like 2 years. No. Oh. God no. Oh, but they're gonna do it. I bet they're gonna do it like WWE and shit. Oh no. Uh, no, it's happening right now. Oh no. Oh no. I. Oh no. I swear this was my own idea. I had it like 2 years ago. You guys have heard me been working on it for about a year. Oh no. This is a disaster. Now people are going to think I did it as a ripoff. Damn it! I was like, oh, surely nobody else is going to come up. Surely nobody else is going to come up with this idea before me. Surely I came up with an original idea. Oh, no! I don't even follow Dropout! Oh. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. I had originality going for. Oh man. Yeah, but now I'm competing with probably the most famous humor fantasy thing going on. Oh, sorry. This is oh boy, this is not a fun bit of news to have gotten. Oh, damn it! I've been working on this idea for 2 years. Ugh. But now people are. I know. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna keep doing it, but now this kind of screws me up in a lot of ways because now people are gonna think I'm like just ripping off Dimension 20. But I've it's written though. I've just been editing it and revising it. It's done. I've been prepping all this stuff for. Oh damn it! I thought I had. I know. I hope. Sorry, sorry. Because I really thought I had like originality on my side here. Because I was like, oh, this is a fairly unique idea. I don't think anybody has ever done this before. And it's of course, and it said okay, and well, uh, I mean, my take sounds fundamentally very different in that mine's a much more. It sounds weird to say this, but mine's a much more down to earth take than theirs is, and wrestling is a work in my version. It's not like it's fixed. Do you know these terms? Sorry, I've been immersing myself in this world for a long time, and now I'm now using all the terms. But work means like it's fixed. It's a shoot means it's a real fight. It's a unfixed fight. But so in my version, wrestling is a work. It's not. It's not just using the tropes of wrestling. Oh man, damn it! I thought I was being so original. Sorry. Do you know who William Gibson is? William Gibson is the writer of Neuromancer, which is a very important book and kind of no. Who was the guy? That's William Wallace. William Wallace is Braveheart. William Gibson is the writer of Neuromancer, which is very important because that book essentially created cyberpunk as a genre. But he said one of the worst experiences in his life was going to see Blade Runner because he's like because he said he kind of almost broke down crying watching it because he's like I've been working on this idea for like a year and just suddenly it's there in cinema. It's just like ugh. I had a professor scream at me once in the middle of a screening of Blade Runner, so that's always been a fun memory associated with that movie. But sorry. Oh, this is very distressing news. Very distressing news. I gotta recalibrate because I was like, certainly, like lobotomy. I was like, I'm certain nobody's gonna come up with this idea. Yeah, it was in the middle of that scene. We were talking about it, and he got pissy at me. So I had to I had to copy something. I had to turn something in to copy it. So I went. So we had a little bit of a break, and I went to grab it to copy something, and the copier. I was a little late because of that. And then we were talking about the movie, and I brought something up, and then he just screamed at me in the middle of the thing, and I was like, okay. I dropped out of that class the next day because I'm not going to be screamed at. And that is why I don't like the film industry. It's because it encourages people to do bullshit like that, and I will not be part of it. And I won't participate in stuff that's where that's considered kind of cool. Damn. I am very distressed by this Dimension 20 thing, by the way. I am very distressed by it. But, like, the thing is, from what I'm reading, ours have different tones. Mine's a little bit more down. I would argue mine is more of a low fantasy than a high. Well, it's more of a it's more of an idea of like it's more about people like actually it's more about like actually the wrestling business than like the tropes associated. So like, but oh man, this is oh this is a hard bit of news to swallow. Hard bit of news indeed. Sorry. Ugh. Ugh. I'll be back in a second, guys. I just gotta quick do something. Oh, I'm still somewhat shaken by learning this fact. I'm still somewhat shaken. I must admit. I'm still somewhat shaken by learning this fact. I must admit. I must admit. I'm still. People are gonna be like, "Well, is this just Dimension 20 fanfic?" No. just going to sit here. We're going to sit here, not think about how what had been an original idea has now been kind of fucked over, but and try and try and draw a real something good, something good. Also try and draw something good. That is learning about that. That is gonna take me like a minute to readjust to this because it's like, theoretically, I can play this in a way that maybe would attract people of that specific stream, of that specific like game podcast. I never know what to call it. Show. I guess we can go with show. But what had been my advantage has been sort of what had been so. In advertising lobotomy, a thing I've learned is that it's often better to be different. Like, instead of advertising yourself as like the better option, the cheaper option, advertise yourself as the different option. And that was the option I was going with, and it's funny on screen. All this stuff, like my mic and my phone, look a lot closer to me than they actually are. Yeah, I know, but isn't it? It's funny. It's fun. It's funny. Yeah, and it looks like It's like it looks like it's right next to me. It's about this far away. So, uh, uh, um, sorry. What's funny, lobotomy? You'll find this funny. Now I have to change my idea. This D&D game I wanted to run uh, about pro wrestling, fantasy pro wrestling. Guess where it was going to be set? Greece. It was going to be Greece. I was also going to do a Greece thing, so it was also going to be. It was going to be Greece as well. That was my idea. It was going to be Greece. Because I thought wrestling. Right. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. So, okay. Yeah, but Tio, there is no problem. Yes, I appreciate that, and I still do this idea. I think, but it is important to keep in mind that you also have to make sure that you don't appear to be a ripoff. I think the world is big enough for more than a few fantasy wrestling things. I was hoping to be the first. I was hoping to be the first, but I didn't even realize I had to worry about competition because I was so certain this was an this was such an original idea. Nobody would come to it for a while. But I must grieve that, but can't. I'm not going to do it. The thing set in Greece. Then I would be compared to it immediately. You know. And when something has a really passionate fan base, you tend to be the lesser of the two, even if you have a reasonable think, even if you think you could maybe do better. I learned that the hard way once, so no problem. What? So what are you drawing, lobotomy? Very cool. Yay! That's very cool. I know. I've been there. I've been there. Oh. That's good. That's good. Yeah, it's good to get actual stuff done. Yeah. I think I'm probably gonna call it today, if that's okay, Lobotomy. Uh, everybody. Maybe I'll come back later tonight when I have a little bit more of a joie de vivre. You did shock me quite a lot today, Lobotomy. You did shock me. It's not your fault that I'm very like, oh God. I now have to sit here and think about what I need to do next. Okay. Talk to you later. No, it's not your fault. It's in no way your fault, but it's quite surprising. I must admit, it was quite surprising. Okay, talk to you later. Bye. YouTube. You caused me such trouble at